Hey, privileged to be with you today on this great opportunity to enter into a new month. The month of June is with us. I'm Brian Scheimer, wonderful to be able to share with you for a few minutes in the Word. So this passage comes from the beginning of Jesus' ministry, early on in his ministry. And here's where the passage begins. Jesus entered Capernaum, where he was staying, and a centurion came to him, pleading, saying, "My servant lies at home, paralyzed and suffering terribly." And Jesus said, "I will come and heal him." And the centurion said, "Lord, I'm not worthy to have you come under my roof, but say the word and it will be done. For I too am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I say to one, 'Go,' and he goes. Another, 'Come,' and he comes. To my servant, 'Do this,' and he does it." When Jesus heard this, he marveled and said to those who were following him, "I tell you the truth, I have not found such great faith among any who are among Israel. But I tell you the truth, many will come from the east and the west and sit at table with Abraham, and with Isaac, and with Jacob. But the sons of the kingdom will be thrown out into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." And then Jesus said to the centurion, "Go your way. Let it be done according to your faith." And his servant was healed at that very hour. So that's the end of the story. I find it surprising that the centurion, who has so many people under him that he can command, came himself to Jesus. Do you find that surprising? I mean, he had lots of options, right? He said he was a man under authority, so he could have had anybody come. So what might we learn about the centurion? That he came himself, pleading with Jesus. "My servant is paralyzed and is in terrible suffering." It's so fascinating to me too. The centurion never asked Jesus to do anything, right? But he just stated his case. What might you learn about the centurion that he didn't send somebody else, but came himself? And also, he didn't ask for anything, but just stated his case. What does it tell you about him? I don't know, It just seems to me he must have loved this servant immensely to come himself and to come pleading with Jesus. And then he didn't even ask for Jesus. He allowed Jesus to make the decision for him, really, of what was to happen. And yet when Jesus offered to come, "I will come and heal him," said Jesus, the centurion said, "Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof." What an amazing thing, isn't it? To have that level of, I don't know, what would you call that? With humility or awareness of the grandeur, the greatness of Jesus? I mean, who in the story has even suggested that they understood the grandeur and the greatness of Jesus to this extent? We're early in the book of Matthew in this story. And so here this man is saying, "I'm not worthy to have you come into my home," even though he's a high official. Does it tell you anything more about the character of this man? And then he says to Jesus, "You don't need to come, just say the word, it'll be done." Wow. I mean, do you see the kind of faith this guy had? There's he comes to Jesus and he said, "Yeah, just say the word and it'll be done." His servant's in terrible suffering and Jesus can do it from a distance. And this guy knows it. No wonder Jesus marveled and said, "I have not found such great faith of any in Israel, but many will come from the east and west and sit at table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the sons of the kingdom will be thrown out in the outer darkness, where there'll be weeping, gnashing of teeth." So he says to the centurion, "Go your way. Let it be done to you as you have believed." According to your faith. I wonder what kind of impact this had on those that were following him when Jesus said to them, "I tell you, I've not found such great faith of any of is in Israel." And he found it in a Roman. How might that have impacted the disciples? how might that have impacted the others that are following that were true Israelites and committed to Israel, to hear that a Roman had greater faith? I wonder. In the story we see it, this centurion had the kind of faith that believed that at a word Jesus could heal from a distance, even though he was not connected to the faith Jesus was involved in as far as Israel, as by being Jewish, right? So, but he believed that Jesus could just heal from a distance. Today, do we see people, even out of other faith systems, believing that Jesus can do something that even people within those faith systems aren't able to believe? Do we see that today? Where people outside the faith have greater confidence in what Jesus can do than those in the faith? Where might you see that today? Have you or someone you known seen a demonstration or demonstrated a great faith in Jesus that others around you were astounded at? What was that like for you? It makes me wonder if people like outside the church sometimes can express greater faith than those inside. Anybody seen that today? Where people that are disconnected from faiths, like a practice of faith in the church, are still demonstrating greater faith in what God can do than those that are in the church. It's interesting to me that Jesus is so accommodating to this centurion's desire to not have Jesus come, but just speak the word. And do you know that Jesus doesn't ever say the word? He just said, let it be done to you according to your faith. Isn't that interesting about Jesus? He just says, let it be according to your faith. So, I don't know. I wonder, where is your faith today? In what? In whom is it placed? If it was to be done according to your faith in your life, or whatever it is that's pressing upon you, what would the outcome look like? I wonder what we might be able to learn from the centurion, his response to Jesus, his coming to Jesus, to relate to our own life of faith and how we follow and how we connect with Jesus. We live in a season with incredibly blue skies, where we are anyway, in the States and Oregon, and incredible sunshine and incredible air to breathe, and we can be a people that walk by faith. What would that look like in your life? And how can you break out of whatever place that maybe fear or some of the restriction is placed upon you, or some other belief system is placed upon you? What would it mean for you to get your faith back to Jesus so he can have all of you? Hope you can hear the people laughing and playing in the background. Our neighbors are having a great backyard celebration with their children, playing and laughing, and I just love that. It's a beautiful, beautiful background. So, blessings on you. Have the best day. Take the best care. Hey, and let me know how I can be praying for you. Bye now.